Welcome back, y'all, to Marshall Time, episode 62. Yes, the Eagles are still Super Bowl champs. What's up, bro?
What's going on, champ?
Man, I'm still enjoying this, man. Like, I can't, like, we're not gonna, we already did our, gloating and everything, but it still feels good. It still feels good, and this gonna be a wave. We telling y'all all spring, all summer. Get used to it because our basketball team ain't giving us nothing to talk about. So, shout out to the Eagles, but we got to talk about the All-Star weekend. We haven't had a chance to record um, since last weekend, and that's been a major talking point in national media. The basketball conversation has been surrounding the All-Star weekend, and we talked about it in our last show when previewing it. It's like this felt like the energy wasn't there. Like for the first time, I wasn't excited about the All-Star weekend. I didn't feel. I was actually surprised. I was caught off guard that it was coming up. Right? I didn't realize. Oh, it is this weekend, and so really want to talk about the state of the All-Star weekend, the All-Star game, All-Star Saturday night, the things that we experienced watching it this past weekend, some changes, our changes needed. So just really want to have a in-depth conversation because I feel like some of the conversations I'm hearing are, pretty much everybody's saying the same things, but I think there's a layered conversation that needs to be had. And I just want to, go in depth a little bit. Um, First, I want to start off with just Friday night, where they have the Rising Stars game and the Celeb game. I didn't watch a single second of either game, to be honest with you. And the Celeb game, I don't know, maybe I'm just aging out of it, but I feel like coming up, you know, there was a little bit of excitement every now and then to watch some people that they had in the Celeb game. But this year, I guess on Twitter, I was able to see some of the celebs that they had on there, but I'm just not connecting with the celebrity game anymore. They got the influencers, the streamers. I get it. Salute to what they doing. Either it's just not for me anymore, or it's just really there's no need for it. That's just where I stand on Friday night. So whatever. Saturday night though has always been a conversation, specifically the dunk contest. Shout out to Matt McClung winning it for a third straight year. Salute to you. It's funny. The NBA brings him out every year, then sends him on his way back to the G League. If they ask him to do it again, he need to get a check because he's really single-handedly holding Saturday night down. He's done it for the last three years now. He's holding it down. The main reason that people are watching the dunk contest, so he got to get a check or something from that outside of the winner's check. He got to get a bag. My thought process when it comes to the dunk contest is and it kind of hurts to say this. I question if there's a need for it anymore in today's landscape of the game, right? I question if guys now in the league, if they care about it. And I saw the comment from Ja Moran and Aaron Gordon, right, and Zach LaVine saying they might do it. Giannis, and I'm like, yeah, it's not moving me anymore. Like I don't believe your words, right? It's all talk. Because if you really cared, if you really want to be a part of this, you would have been done it in year one, year two. This used to be a pretty much a foregone conclusion that the young up and comers who could really get up like that would be in the dunk contest. Like that was sort of like a thing. But now it's sort of like, I mean, Matas Buzelis, Andre Jackson, Stephen Castle had a really good showing, and I'm glad that he did. But I don't think guys care about it anymore. They don't, and it made me just question if there is a point in time where the NBA does like they did way back in 98, I believe, after the Kobe dunk contest. For a couple years, they did away with the dunk contest. And then they brought it back for Vince Carter. And then it's been around ever since. I think it's reaching that point. I think the care level from these guys is not there anymore. I don't even think it's about getting embarrassed. I just think they don't have the mental energy or creativity to want to even think about what else can be done. Because reality is, I feel like we've pretty much almost seen it all when it comes to NBA guys and dunk contests. We've seen it. We've seen a lot. And so it's going to take a lot to wow us outside of the professional dunkers we see online. It's going to take a lot. And so I question if there is a need for the dunk contest anymore. The NBA has to have a real conversation unless some of these guys like a Ja, like a Zion, some of these bigger name guys, Jalen Green and Edwards, if they decide to really, lock in and do it for the fans. That's what it comes down to, doing it for the fans. But outside of that, I don't know. I don't see Mac McClung doing this for much longer, right? And he said it. He said as much. He's not sure if he'll come back next year, and I don't blame him. So after Mac McClung, I don't want to see Matas Buzelis and Andre Jackson again. I don't, right? And so, what's the point? So I have more thoughts, but I'll let you, take it away.
Yeah, well, I mean, as far as Friday night, I feel like the celebrity game has always been how it is. Like, if it's celebrities that you're interested in, you're going to tune in and watch. If not, you're kind of lost at what you're looking at. But I mean, a celebrity game is always supposed to be fun. The Rising Stars Challenge, they try to make the changes, instead of going rookie versus sophomore, what do they do? World versus country, or and I
Yeah.
think they even split up to teams this year. Um, I mean, the Rising Stars, it's always been, it is what it is too. Unless it's exciting rookies going against each other, or we have the flashback of when Kyrie and Hardaway were going at it, or when they were going at Brandon Knight, things like that.
Mm-hmm.
We'll have those memories, and it's cool. But Friday night is Friday night, so I don't get them too much flack for Friday night because it's always been like the warm up to me. Now Saturday night, as far as the dunk contest, it's a twofold problem. One, like you said, we've seen a lot of dunks already. To me, it's like which more what more can we see? Like even the Mac McClung dunks, I'm like, wow, these are great dunks, but we've seen some variation, some form of that dunk before. It's not nothing that I got me on my seat and was like, yo, did he just do that? Like, and there's nothing to take away from him because it's not his fault for when he was born, and he has great bounce. He has great hops, but at the end of the day, we've seen a lot of guys do similar dunks to what you did. You know what I mean? But shout out to him still, and also the stars got to want to do it too. Like coming up when a young rising player did the dunk contest, it like added to their image, or as the kids would say today, their aura, right? You think about Jordan, Dr. J, Dominique. I got visions of them. I wasn't even alive, but I got visions of highlights of them in the dunk contest. Vince Carter, like you said,
Sean Kemp,
Kobe, Sean Kemp. Like
Blake
imagine
Griffin.
if Brian, like yeah, Blake, Zach Levine. Like imagine if
Yeah.
Brian did dunk contest early in his career. Like
Mm,
as as great as he already is, that would just add a whole nother element to like his aura, his image. You know what I mean? Like
mm,
it's just something about it. Like, and I feel like even the crowd reaction, it's just not the same. Like I feel like as time has passed. Like I even think about back in the early 2000s dunk contest. You got the, I got pictures of Shaq with the camcorder in his hand. You know what I mean?
mm.
It's a
KG and
different
those
era.
guys.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
just a different era. Like Duncan, Duncan is great. Like, it's cool to do it. It's cool to be blessed with, the vertical, the God given, ability to do stuff like that. But at the end of the day, it's outdated. And honestly, I've been saying it for years, and I'm glad that they're finally thinking about it. I saw a report that they're considering it. It's time to put the 1v1 competition in there. The 1v1 is taking not even just the NBA, it's taking the basketball scene by storm. You think about what's going on YouTube with the
Mm-hmm.
next chapter and Frigga, all these guys, and we got a league out here called June's League that, is doing things with the 1v1 scene. Like the 1v1 scene is where it's at. Like if you really want to get something popping during All-Star weekend, you get some of the best scorers, some of the best isolation players with a bag, right? And match them up 1v1. Let's do a tournament. Let's go. Let's ball. Me and you. Old school. We at the park. We getting busy. Back in the day style. That's what they need to do. You saw what the WNBA did, and it was a cool thing that they did.
Unrivaled
Yeah, unrivaled.
basketball.
And it wasn't even
Yeah.
actually it wasn't even WNBA. They're just using WNBA players. But
Yeah.
If they could do that, why can't we do this as the NBA? And you know, at first, a part of me was like, some of these NBA players got too much pride. But then again, I look at it, I'm like, I can name about 10 guys that I know off the top of my head that would do it. I know KD would do it. I know SGA would do it. I know Ant would do it. I know a guy like D Book would do it. I know
Kyrie would do it.
Right. I know Kyrie would do it. I know Tatum.
Luca
We said
might. I mean,
Kyrie,
I feel like
Luca.
Luca
If
would be
he's
up for it.
healthy,
Devin Booker.
yeah, Book. Then you got to think about the guys they're not even stars, like the Malik Monks, right?
Hmm.
Guys like him, the Tyler Heroes, guys that are like, they're great scorers, but they may not be the best all around player. They're not like a superstar. It's a lot of guys. Rob Dillingham. It's a lot of guys in the league. Like people gotta understand, 1v1 is a different game than 5v5, and you'll be surprised that you know some of you guys that may be coming off the bench, they might could beat them starters. We just seen that video of Cam Reddish frying the Lakers at practice 1-on-1. And not to say Cam Reddish is, some great player, but we saw in a 1-on-1 setting in the NBA, he has a bag going against other NBA players. He has a bag. And it would just be interesting to see. And it'll be refreshing and it's gonna add more, competition, more fuel. It's a no-brainer to me, man. And like I said, if they get some of the top players, just a few players we named, they get some of the top players mixed with some
Hmm.
other, not so top players, but we know that they can hoop. Put them in there, man. Like, why not? You can't tell me the NBA can't grab 16 players and they could do a tournament.
Hmm.
1v1. They could do a shot clock. They could do three dribbles, however they, choose to do it, and throw some money as the prize too. Put some
Hmm.
incentive out there. You know what I mean? So that's the solution for me as far as Saturday night goes. Dunk
Yeah,
contest is just outdated.
I think it's even talking on the grassroots level. I can speak of when I was growing up in school and even on the courts before practice. During organized ball, or even on the courts, we would practice trying to touch rim, trying to get dunks off, throwing lobs to like we would practice these things, trying to who can reach the highest on the backboard. I don't you can probably speak to this more now that you're coaching. I don't know what the culture is now when it comes to kids on the playground, kids warming up before practice. Are they even trying to see who can jump the highest, or are they just hoisting up shots from half court? Right? I just remember as a kid, the thing was before practice or on the playground, everybody, even if you know you couldn't done, you still gonna try to do something crazy, right? The culture of dunking is different now. Like it used to be a thing, like from Dr. J to MJ to Vince and Kobe, T Mac, all these guys, like Steve Francis, Baron Davis, like the culture of dunking was a thing from Dr. J really elevated it. MJ took it to a whole new height, and then the '90s and early 2000s, it was just like kids of MJ and Dr. J. And so I think now I don't think kids grow up. They don't grow up thinking of like ways to be creative with their dunks anymore. They're not studying. Like I would study the VHS dunk contest recordings that we recorded. I would watch them back, and that sparking creativity in your mind, like, okay, he did this. How can we do something different? I don't think kids are coming up studying how to dunk, right? Which has always been it's crazy. It's funny to think about because way back the argument was kids are they're just trying to dunk. They're not working on the fundamentals. Now kids are probably more skilled as ever, but we're crying about the dunk contest, right? And so I think people, you can't have it both ways, right? The game is as skilled as it's ever been, but people are still complaining, right? So what do you want? And so I think the dunk contest is at a crossroads now to where, yeah, the culture of dunking is different. Outside of are they called the Flight Brothers still, right? You got these dunking crews, these professional dunkers. Outside of that, the culture of dunking, like think about it, even when I remember watching these like inside stuff in NBA action. You would look forward to the top 10 plays and you would see some crazy like dunks, right? Think about now. There's a few guys still upholding that energy. Like Ant-Man still does it. Jalen Green has those moments, right? But it's very few and far between of guys that are really elevating like that and really putting on shows. Blake Griffin is another name, but who besides Ant and the Jalen Green, who are the well-known guys that are really giving it up like that, on a nightly basis, right? Like think about who's dominating the league right now. the Joker, Steph, um, Luca, right? Giannis, he isn't known as, he's not like a high flyer, right? He's a 7 footer. He's a 7 footer who's just bullies. He's like a Shaq type of player, right? And so that excitement factor, a dunk is always going to be exciting. It's always going to bring energy to a crowd and to a game, but I don't think it's looked for anymore like it once was. I'm not
Yeah,
sure how it
it's
is with kids these days growing up, how they view it. Do they even like play around and try to see what they can do?
man. Listen, it's crazy that you bring that up. Today, we did the student versus staff game at the school that I coach at,
Mm.
and before the game, I was talking to some of the kids in the crowd. They didn't tell me to try to dunk it. They told me to pull from half.
Yeah,
And that
it used to
tells you
be.
right there, right
It
there.
used to be.
That
Can
tells
you
you that
dunk?
right there.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're telling me to pull from half. They don't even care about if I can get up and dunk. They didn't tell me to dunk on nobody. They
Mm,
said, Coach, can you pull from half? Pull from half during the game. That's what
mm,
they want. The
mm,
kids, and like even as a coach, I see it. Like when they go out there, they're
mm,
worried about shooting. They're not worried
mm,
about dunking.
mm,
Like even though like I coach middle school, but after the game we had like a little pizza party, and we usually we lower the rims,
mm,
and they still weren't really trying to dunk. Only a few of them were trying to dunk. It's
mm.
like even
Yeah.
at that point, they're more worried about the thing today is, do you have a bag? That's the thing today.
Yeah.
Players want to
Yeah.
see, can you guard him? If he can't,
Mm,
go kill him. You
mm,
know what I mean? Can you guard him? That's what it is. Can you guard me 1-on-1 on this island? So that's what the
mm,
NBA, they need to catch up with the times. And it's going to it's going to get a lot of attention because it's going to be interesting when you see a guy that you think is so good in a 5-on-5 setting, but when it
mm.
comes to 1-on-1, they're not as good as you.
I think I love the one-on-one idea. I love 1v1. Um, I got it. I mean, as we're talking, I have a even bigger idea of sort of capture the essence of the culture of the game. Keep the 3-point shootout. I'm cool with that because that's still, the 3-point shooting is
It's
shooting,
fun. Yeah, it's
regardless of
still
the
fun.
era, who especially now, right? Um, the dunk contest isn't needed unless a group of stars really want to revamp it. Then I'm cool. I'm not going to deny that. I'm good. I'm good. I'm cool off the skills challenge too. I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't need it. It doesn't do anything for me personally. I
It's
think it's
changed so
just a
much.
I think it's just a space. It's just eating up space. Like you need to fill this time, and
Yeah.
so let's just put that there. I think you have the 1v1, but also have like a pickup type of situation to where you have a pool of guys, and let's have 1v1, 2v2, and 3v3, right? So
Yeah.
we have a pool of guys for 1v1, and then for the 2-on-2 and 3-on-3, let's not even set up beforehand the teams. Let's just pick captains, straight playground
Hmm.
style, open run, LA Fitness.
Yeah.
Have guys pick who they want. Let's do it like that. And I think that'll create intrigue while you're watching it, like, oh, these dudes are picking up their rosters on the spot right here. Let's see if LeBron's going, let's see who's going to pick who and see who can, formulate a good team. I think that would capture the essence of the culture where it's at. You keep the shooting, but you also capture the essence of what we're doing today in open runs, 1v1s, 2v2s, and 3v3s. I think that there would be a legit move. I think I haven't heard that idea yet. Um, and hey, if they take off with it, man, I kind of I would be tight. Like, dang, I couldn't. I wish I would have had some copyright ownership on that idea, but I think that would be a dope idea.
Yeah, that'd be dope too. And I think also they should get some of these guys that are on YouTube and get them a chance to go on All-Star Weekend. You'll get another whole group of audience because it's a lot of kids that watch this YouTube stuff more than they
Mm,
watch the NBA, believe it or not. You know what
mm,
I mean? So that'd be interesting too. Get some of the top 1v1 guys. We got the Moons, the Fombies, the Nescos, the Friggas, all these
mm.
all these guys that are good 1v1 ballers life, type of situation. Get them on the All-Star weekend too. Get them a little stage to play at. It'd be interesting.
So we move from Saturday to my biggest beef of All Star Weekend is the Sunday Night All Star Game. First off, going into it, I was confused what was going on, bro. I was like, all right, there's four different teams: the OGs, the World Team, which has American players on the roster, right? So I was kind of confused there. You got Zach Edey on the same floor as these. I'm like, what's happening? Like, why? Like, I get what they were trying to do. I get it, but you're doing too much. You're doing way too much, and that's the grand theme. I got a list of my beefs for All Star Sunday: gimmicks and sideshows. Why is Kevin Hart talking so much? Why is he even there? Why is there a halftime performance after 2 minutes of action? The Inside the NBA segment was OD. Why is Kevin Hart still talking?
Mm.
What is happening? Like, these are my thoughts. Mr. Beast. Why is Mr. Beast giving away money? Who is this kid? I literally I looked away and then I turned it back around and because at that point it was just background noise, and I saw like, why is Mr. Beast? First off, if they didn't have the Mr. Beast, see, I know who Mr. Beast is, but if they didn't have like the name CG on it, I wouldn't have known who that was. Um, I forgot who is Jesser. He was one of the I guess he was a judge on for the dunk. Who is Jesser?
Jester, he's a YouTuber like for 2K. He used to make 2K videos and stuff. And I guess he
I
makes
see.
real
I
basketball
just
videos too.
I was slightly confused. I didn't know who Jesser was. Um, yeah, All Star Sunday was trash, and it was the worst All Star Sunday ever. And I can't even blame the players. I blame the league on this for doing way too much because I think there were guys like an SGA. Steph wanted to put on a good show for the home crowd. Wemby wanted to do his thing, right? There are guys out there who wanted to actually play. I think SGA pretty much told Kevin Hart, the rat, like, shut up, right? Like, you doing too much, bro. Like,
Right.
we don't need Kevin Hart. This isn't a comedy show. I get it. You want to make it entertaining, but basketball should be enough. This is when it comes down to corporate people, analytical people, people who aren't close to the culture of basketball, thinking about numbers and let's connect with these people in this demographic. Let's get Mr. Beast and Jesser. Let's try to get these streamers, which I get it. That's the wave now. You want to have a connection to those people, but you're abandoning an entire segment of people who just want to enjoy the game. They're not in it for the sideshows and the gimmicks. It was horrible. Like, how many times do you have to stop the action? How many times do we have to go to half court and see these guys stand awkwardly next to Kevin Hart, Shaq, and Ernie Johnson? It was awkward. It was no point. And so you want these guys to play hard, but yeah, you're doing a half hour segment to honor inside the NBA. Now you want these guys to get ready and risk injury after they've been sitting down? So I don't blame the players this time around. I'd be pissed off too. Like, word, this is what we doing? So the NBA cut out the gimmicks, stick to basketball. Cut out the four teams. Let's do East versus West, how it always should be. Bottom line, all this other sideshow and gimmick stuff, dead it. You're trying too hard. You're doing the most. You're doing the most. I'm this close for saying let's do like the Pro Bowl and just throw the All Star game away too. Name an All Star team, they'll still get the honor for their resume. But this game, nah, I don't need it. If that's what we doing, if I got to hear Kevin Hart talk more than seeing basketball, I don't need an All Star game. Give me the 1v1, 2v2, 3v3, and 3-point shootout, Rising Stars. I'm Gucci. That's where I'm at.
No, you're not lying, man. First of all, my biggest gripe for the past few years, and a lot of people going, be like, why is you thinking about that? They gotta go back to playing in jerseys, just their regular jerseys. Like, I'm sorry. Like, I
Mm-hmm.
feel like the All-Star game was does better when teams wore their jerseys. Like,
Mm-hmm.
it's just a different energy, it's a different aura to it. Like, they gotta play with that for one. Two, on top of what you already talked about, them playing the 40 was so stupid. They were
That,
playing the
yeah.
40. I didn't Why are we not just playing a full game? Like, or at least have the target score like you guys used to have. It seems like to me, it's just become too gimmicky. Um, the players, like I said, like we always said, man, the players they gotta want to play. You know what I mean? If they don't want to play it, then they're not going to play. We seen Ant sat out. Brian, he was dealing with an injury. Supposedly, who knows what really was going on? He probably just didn't want to play either. But I mean, after what I watched, like you said, I can't blame him. But just going forward, generally, I mean, I think the biggest thing is they got to go back to having teams wear their own jerseys because that was just cool. But maybe then some of these jersey designs are bad, these current jersey designs. So then again, it's like maybe not.
How
It,
about you? How about you do a dope just a retro jerseys from
yeah,
like the
maybe you let
'90s? That I think that'd
maybe
be
you
dope.
yeah maybe you let teams wear their retro jerseys. Um, or maybe you let some of these fans like give out jersey suggestions, like graphic design. Get the fans involved because
Mm,
I feel like I'll be seeing jersey designs on Twitter that are way harder than
mm,
whatever Nike and the NBA is coming up with. Yeah, that'd
yeah.
be cute. That'd be cool too. Also, they do gotta go back to East and West because I feel like it brings a sense of pride.
Mm,
Like unknowingly, when the East and West play, usually, when I was growing up, even still kind of to this day, depending on who's hurt and who's healthy, the West usually has the stronger team
yeah.
when they do East and West, but that gives the East, a chance to like, yo, a lot of people are counting this out because they see it. They see the comments on Twitter and
Yeah, for
Instagram.
sure.
They
For
they
sure.
know people are like, oh, the West is going to wash the East out of the water. Now this gives the East incentive to play a little harder. You know what I mean? Let's actually play hard. Oh, I gotta get on Jaren Jackson too, man. He was talking about he was going to be guarding full court. I seen him guard full court maybe 2 or 3 times. And the last time he did it, he was guarding full court, but he wasn't really playing defense. He was just running with SGA. And then when SGA got past half court, he let him blow by him for the game winning layup. I'm
Yeah,
like,
these
bro,
dudes.
you
Look,
could have just what
these
are you talking
dudes.
about?
These dudes tend to talk when they're in the company of certain people. I'll just keep it at
Yeah, oh yeah, yeah, like, but it's just
that.
like, come on, bro. Like, what's going on? I'm not feeling that. It's just yeah,
Why is
it
Kevin
is
Hart
what it
still talking?
Yeah, I don't know what that was. I trust me, they know not to make that mistake again. They know.
Like
I think out of all the complaints, that's the biggest complaint they're going to get from the
every
weekend.
5 minutes, I look up. They're doing a halftime, like
Yeah,
mid game
yeah, I didn't
interview.
know.
Like, like what?
I don't know. I honestly don't know. It's
We don't
crazy.
need Kevin Hart involved in the NBA festivities. If you want to do it for the
Now we
celebrity game,
don't.
he's a celebrity. Fine, keep it at that.
Right.
What are we
Then they
doing here?
got
And like the Mr. Beast, I didn't even. I was so. I'm like, why is a fan coming to like? I was confused. I didn't know what was going on.
to
I
be
didn't know why
honest,
I was seeing Mr. Beast,
to be
but that was
honest
dope to
though,
see though.
the guy I'm about to say that was the most exciting part of the night. The guy hitting
That
that
was
last
dope to
shot
see.
for the money.
How about this? How about this? On Sunday night, instead of having a game, let's have 10 random fans win a sweepstakes to shoot out against 10 All-Stars.
Yeah, for some
Right?
money. Cause that was cool
Like
seeing
10.
him beat out Dame like that. That was
Yeah,
cool.
let's go band for band with like fans who can actually play ball. Right? Like they
Yeah.
complain about fans criticizing them. All right, well, go up against me. See what can happen. You feel me? Because I do think I can outshoot Ben Simmons. Yes. So let me test it out. You feel me? Uh, so yeah, I was annoyed by Kevin Hart. The Inside the NBA John was OD. Like I get it, but like let's wrap this up. And there was like 5 different like musical performances. Right? Am I tripping? There was like 5 different ones.
All I know is they had E40 out there, and anybody that knows me knows I can't stand E40.
Well, of
Like,
course
no
they were gonna have
disrespect to the Bay
E40.
Area. Yeah, I get
Yeah,
it. No disrespect to the Bay Area, but that's just not a rapper that I'm a
I
fond
was
of. So I tuned out.
I was just I didn't know why they kept having musical performances. There was like 5 different halftime shows.
I don't know.
Um, there was a kind of like player. I just if this is what we doing, I don't need the All Star game. I just don't. And if players don't care about it, why should I care about it?
Exactly.
I can't even. I'm no longer going to complain about players not trying. I'm going to complain about the NBA being trash at their planning. But at the end of the day, these guys are making more money than players have ever had. Right? These guys have obligations all weekend. I get it. I get it. But they're making so much money. This is a weekend, a free trip to wherever the All Star weekend is. I'm not going all out. So why should we lose sleep over the All-Star game? Why aren't these guys playing hard? Because they don't want to play hard. These are grown men. These are athletes, competitors. If they want to compete, they will. If they don't, they're not going to compete. They compete in these
Yeah.
open runs in the summertime.
The
So
NBA wants an MC, man. Get a real MC. They got Bobito. Who was the other guy you had
yeah,
said? They got Bobito
Oh,
from
from Duke
N1 and
Duke Tango.
Duke. Yeah, they get Duke. It get some real MCs out here, man. Like let's get some real street ball action. Let's get some real street ball action, man. Because this right
Yeah,
here is just not it.
I can't like if this is what we like I said, this is what we doing. Let's get rid of the All-Star game. You know what I mean? That's how I feel. Um Before we wrap up, there's another conversation that's always been a thing over the past few years, and it really annoys me. And I've kind of put it to the back burner, but it came up again based off comments from Anthony Edwards over the All Star weekend when it was talking about being the face of the league, and he said he didn't want that response. I guess he didn't. He said he didn't want to be face of the league or whatever. And then of course that drove the media conversation cycle. That's been the conversation around the NBA about who's the face of the league. Is it this guy? Can it be that guy? And it annoyed me because number one, in all my years of watching and really following the NBA, I don't recall a conversation of being who is the face of the league. It happens organically. The face of the league will reveal itself in due time. There's no need to even speak it. It just happens. MJ, oh, you know what it was, right? Like, it happens. LeBron has been the face of the league since '03. You know what it was with him, right? You had the AI, the Kobe, like the eras, the guys will reveal themselves. Why are we so thirsty to have this conversation about who is the face of the league? I really don't care, to be honest with you. The NBA has just signed a $1 billion media deal. They're going to be all right. Somebody is going to come up and take over that mantle. Like, and to be honest with you, the way there is with social media and the way fans are segmented now, we have more fans of players than actual teams. And
Yeah.
so, with that being said, whoever your favorite, if you're one of those fans who rides for Luka or the Joker or SGA, that's your face of the league. Like, right? Like there's some people who put Kyrie on such a high pedestal that they feel like he is the best in the league. They have such a like SGA has a huge following. Like there are Twitter accounts dedicated to these people. Jason Tatum, Luka Doncic. And so to me, the face of the league conversation is tired. I'm over it. It will reveal itself in due time. And it's funny to me, I thought about this. People laugh, people, talking and complaining about there's after LeBron and Steph, who's going to step up. I'm like, look, there's a kid currently playing for Duke University who I think has all the makings of what the NBA will make the face of the league, if you know what I'm talking about, right? His name's Cooper Flag. I'm like, it's not that far off to you can see that Cooper Flag is set up to be, if he's able to be the all-star that we feel like he can be at the next level, I would put a bet on Cooper Flag taking that mantle in the next few years if he is actually like that at the next level. When it comes to marketing, his energy, his like everything. And then you have AJ Debanza coming up the next year. Like there are talented guys coming up the pipeline, but the reality is it's going to happen organically. You can't force it on Zion. You can't force it on Ja. You can't force it on Ant. It's going to happen organically. If it's Wemby, I hope Wemby is okay. His health situation. It could be Wemby. Why can't it be an international player? I heard that argument. It's a global game. Like who cares if he's from Europe or I could care less. It's going to happen organically. That's just my rant. I was just
Yeah,
I've
nah.
been over the face of the league conversation because it's like a new phenomenon because I didn't grow up hearing that or talking about that. I had my favorite player. AI was the face for me. I'm gonna just put it like that.
The thing about it is, there's so many reasons why people are asking about it, and there's so many reasons why there's no clear cut. The first one is the people that have been the faces of the leagues for the past 10 years are still playing. Bron's still
Right.
playing at a high level. Curry's still playing at a high level. KD still playing. Even Harden is still playing good. Like these older guys are still performing. They're performing longer than we've seen guys in the past.
Mm-hmm.
Also, number two, a lot of the young guys that are so good. We talk about a Tatum, we talk about a SGA, we talk about a Jokic, a Luca, right? You have people that are stands of them, then you got people that hate them. It's
Mhm.
nobody. It's not a few people that are just like in between. Like okay, like me growing up, right? I wasn't the biggest Bron fan, but I knew Bron was great, and I knew he was the face of the league. I didn't hate him, right?
Mhm.
Same with Steph. Like thing about Steph is he wasn't the face of the league when he came on the scene. It happened because of his
Mhm.
play. He changed him and Clay changed the way basketball was played,
They
right? He
won.
became the face organically, and they won, right? But also a lot of these players it's like their brand behind them just doesn't match up. Like you look at a
Mhm.
player like SJ, who's about to be MVP, in my opinion, he signed to Converse,
Mhm.
and I like his sneaks, but kids aren't running to the store to buy an SGA Converse sneaker. I haven't even seen an SGA
Nah.
sneaker on a shelf ever in any store. Jokic, what brand is he on? Is he to
It's
some
like I think it's an international brand, I
right?
believe.
Kyrie, he's on Anta.
He has his own his own
Right,
situation going on.
JT's on Jordan, but they're ugly. Like
Any
the
outside of the Carmelos, any player signature in the Jordan family is trash.
right, so
Zion's
they're
shoe is trash. Yeah.
so just the whole everything behind them is just not it. Like you look at the sneaks, some of these commercials, like Jordan
Mhm.
had iconic commercials, Kobe, Bron, iconic
AI had him.
commercials,
Yeah.
AI, iconic commercials. It's everything, and everything plays a part in becoming the face of the league. It's deeper than just being great at the game. That's a big
Mhm.
part of it. But Jokic is like he's an all time great already, and
Mhm.
people aren't going to call him the face of the league because of what his play style is boring and we don't know what his sneak is. You know what I mean? Like it's just certain things that go into it that you really can't fight. SGA has like one of the greatest games to watch, but
Mhm.
I feel like his Instagram posts are his biggest branding, like his own Instagram posts, like his
Mhm.
captions and stuff. That's the coolest thing about what he does off the court that we see. You know what I mean? Because we don't know where to get an SGA sneak from. So it's just like
Converse.com.
yeah, but like I can't tell you the last time I seen a kid playing some Converses. Yeah. So
Nah,
it's just it's just one of those things, man. It's like the landscape is changing though. Like if you ask me, who says we need a face of the league? We got so many
we
great
don't.
young players. Let's see them go against each other every year. That's what I'm here
Yeah.
for. Let's see them go
It
against each other. It doesn't even matter. And realistically, when Brian and them retire, when Brian retires and Steph retires, and all these guys retire, whenever that is, it's going to be so many young kids. The game has evolved so much that
Mhm.
you know, cool, they might not be Bron because, Bron, he came in at a time where, it was after Jordan. You had Kobe AI, but Bron was like
Mhm.
the next, he had the hype out of high school. It was different. A lot of
Mhm.
these guys just don't get that. So that's just my
It
thought on it.
it was the same thing when, in the 90s, I remember they were trying to tag everybody as the next Michael. It was, Harold Miner was Baby Jordan. That didn't work out. They tried to make Jerry Stackhouse as the next. I remember, Stackhouse played for the Sixers, so I remember him early on. Grant Hill, before the injuries, they were saying he was the next Jordan. Vince Carter, and so that was a conversation of like who would take over for Jordan. But even then, there wasn't this obsession. And the media landscape is different too, right? The 24-hour, 24/7 news cycle. You got to have these hot takes and conversations to fill time. But it'll happen. Or who would have thought LeBron was coming up the ranks in '96, right? Like, who knew? Kobe wasn't even a top 5 pick in his draft class. The Hornets drafted him. He was traded on draft night, right? Shaq was the main marquee Laker. He was the big signing for the Lakers. So he was the sidekick to Shaq starting. like what I'm like. That was who Kobe was. So it wasn't promised that Kobe would be this face of the league. AI was the top overall pick, but AI is interesting because the league did not want him to be the face at all. But you just can't. Whatever the culture decides, that's just what it is.
That's what
Kids,
it is.
that's just what it
And,
is. The kids
and
just
that's my
like
point.
we decided that AI that's it. Like that's it. You can't stop it. Now you can say you don't want to be the face of the league, but it's going to happen organically, like whether you like it or not. So I'm not too worried about that. I'm over the conversation. Like I said, If Cooper Flag is as great as he's expected to be, I got a feeling he's the type of face of the league that a lot of people have been looking for.
But see, even with somebody like him, it's going to be you're going to have your crowd of haters. We got to think about what team he goes to. It's so much that plays into it. And
Mm-hmm.
my thing is, it's like I said, we don't need. Who says we need one face of the league? We
We
had
don't.
Magic. We had Magic Bird Isaiah. That was three
Yeah.
guys. We didn't
The
need. You don't always got to have just one. Like sometimes it just takes these guys that be at the top of their game for a minute and go against each other. That's what it takes.
the face of the league is not needed now more than ever because the NBA has grown so much globally,
Right.
right? Like they needed the dream team, they needed MJ, Bird, and Magic to help spread it. Now it's out there, and so James Harden can travel to China to this day, and people will still like when he goes to China, it's crazy,
They
right?
think he's Jordan.
Like, yeah.
Right.
So all these players, they have their own segments of supporters and people who praise them and put them up higher than the next great, right? And so, yeah, the conversation is outdated. I don't think it's a big deal. So what if Ant-Man said he doesn't want to be the face of the league? Like, that's his prerogative. But the NBA just signed $1 billion media deal. So they're going to be all right. As long as the talent keeps flowing in, it's going to be cool. I love having conversations about who's the best this, who's the best point guard. Those are the conversations I want to have. Like who's the best big man? Who's the top 3 point guards right now? These are the conversations that are had. Face of the league, we never debate that. We never debate that. I don't know where this is coming from, but it needs to stop. Whoever it is over the next decade, once LeBron and Steph and KD, Lee, I don't know. I really don't care. Right? The next face of the league will be, honestly, it's going to happen organically, like I've been saying, but it's going to be the one player who you can't deny is the best player in the league. Because over the last few years, can we say there's been one player who's been the best player in the league unquestionably, like
No.
consistently?
And if you ask
It
me, that's
changes every
better.
year if you ask people,
Right.
right?
Right.
Jokic may be the closest, right? But LeBron, KD, Giannis, like Joel, when he's like, it's different every year, right? And so I think, like, when's the last time? I guess Brian at his prime, right? That was the last time you can say a player was the best player for like
Right. And
he owns
for
his
for a
era.
run, he had a run. Right. That's what I'm
Yeah,
saying. Like
the
it looked
next
like
the
it was
next
going to
phase will
be
have a run,
Giannis. It looked like it
right?
was going to be Giannis, but he hasn't been winning. Like that's what comes with it. You know what I mean?
We
So
got to win. Yeah,
you gotta win. You gotta be like Brian. Even though he didn't win every year, he was always in. He was one of the last men standing. Either with the Final Four or in the finals. You know what I mean? That all adds up to it. All adds up
if
to
you
it.
if you don't, but in the rare case like an AI, right? If you don't win,
Yeah, your
you
style.
have to
Right.
transcend the game though.
Right.
You
You
got to
gotta be
have a
something the
game and a
kids look up
style.
to.
Yeah, you got to have a game and a style and moments that just capture an audience, right? Like you got to have that about you, and that's what makes AI so special and unique because he didn't win a championship, but still he was in those conversations back then with Kobe and those guys. And so, um, like I said, it'll happen organically. Let's just dead that face of the league conversation forever. Like it's done. It's over with. It'll happen when it happens. Until then, there's a lot of great players out there. Like for the longest, my favorite player was Steph Curry, but right now, SGA giving him a run. That dude's cold. So right now, I'm gonna say SGA. Steph is just he's Mount Rushmore for me. SGA is probably my favorite player right now. Who would you say for you?
Um, Outside of Maxi, because of the Sixers, SGA is definitely up there. Still Kawhi when he's healthy and playing.
Yeah, when Kawhi is
But
healthy,
it's
yeah,
so
I
many like
just
it's just so many players I like watching. I can't even like you know what I mean. Like that's the thing for
yeah,
me. It's
yeah.
hard to just pick, but I mean for this season it's definitely SGA. He's killing it. He's killing it.
When Luka's locked in and
Tatum,
healthy,
Tatum
like
is still like everybody knows. I love Tatum since he came out of Duke.
yeah,
Tatum's still my guy. Like so,
when
it's
when
just
when
like
when Luka's locked in and engaged, I love watching him. Um, And there's some young, like Amin
Jokic.
Thompson. I'm gonna tell you this, Amin Thompson. Whew, we talked about him before, but he's one of those guys I just love watching. I'm excited to see
Yeah.
what he becomes.
It's so many young guys,
Yeah,
bro. So many young guys.
Jalen
Stephon
Johnson with the
Castle,
Hawks. Yeah, Castle I'm
Koulibaly with the
enjoying.
Wizards.
Yeah,
Though
yeah,
Franz Wagner's turning up. Paulo. It's like that's what I'm
yeah,
saying. It's so many, bro. Paulo is just as good as a lot of these players that people be talking about. Franz is
yeah.
getting into that level too. As I'm saying, so many players don't focus on basketball. Is not even a for real. I saw a quote from who was on the Hornets. What is it? Salaloon, the rookie, whatever, however you say his name. He was talking about
Yeah.
Lamelo's passing, and he was like, he likes playing with Lamelo because you could tell
Oh,
he has the Euro game. He
how can
said,
I forget to mention LaMelo? Yeah.
yeah, but he was like you could tell in Europe the job is to find the guy, not be the guy. In the NBA, the job is to
Hmm.
be the guy. That's basketball. Find the
Yeah.
open man, move the ball. You feel me? Like don't focus on so much of who's the guy. Like, of course, and fourth quarter, we want to see you get into that bag like Kobe, like Jordan. You know what I mean? We want to see that. But for the majority of the game, let's play basketball. Like that's what we want to see. So
Yeah, look,
yeah,
LaMelo is one of my top 3 guys to watch. And at the end of the day, I would have put him in the All-Star game just off the strength
yeah,
of his style.
yeah,
The fans spoke.
yeah. That's another thing too. You're
If
basically
Zach
telling the
Edey could be
fans,
on the floor, LaMelo Ball could be on the floor.
yeah, that's another thing. Maybe they should do a. You know what? If they're going to do the team thing, they should make a team of all the players that got voted in but didn't make it. Even if it's like,
Mm,
you had your LaMelo, right? And some of the guys that may have just missed the cut. That's what they should do, like the snub. I don't know. They can be
mm,
the fan team. People that the fans want to see in the All-Star game. Let's do something. You guys spice it up a little bit.
yeah. Well, that's our All-Star weekend rant. We'll be back at it this time next year to see what improvements they make.
1v1,
We'll
man. That's what we need.
see. Yeah, do no more dunk contests. No more skills challenge. Keep the 3-point shootout. 1v1, 2v2, 3v3. Have it playground, open and run, LA Fitness style. Pick 2 captains, pick your squad, and let's rock out. Let's do it. Have was it a couple hours of All-Star Saturday night? That'll fill it all up. Trust me.
Well,
You'll be good to go. Before we close out, any second half thoughts that you have in mind? What are you looking forward to? Who's annoying you? Who's exciting you? You already know who's annoying me, but I'll let you take it first. Like, just your thoughts entering
just
the
only
second
because
half.
I watched them play last night. The Suns, they're done. It's over. They don't play
Mm-hmm.
defense. I just watched
Mm-hmm.
them lose to a Spurs team without Wemby. They had Bismack Biyombo out here, bro. I can't tell you the last time I saw Bismack
I didn't
Biyombo
know he was in
play.
the league.
Bro, he went 4 for 4. I seen enough. It's
Oh, he
over.
was
They tried to
hooping.
scapegoat. They tried to scapegoat Nurkic, and I'm not even know like who's the Nurkic fan. Not me. Nobody is, but who cares? They try to scapegoat him. He's not the problem. They just suck. They don't play
He was giving
big.
bold at work.
It's just Bobo. I don't know, bro. They're done. That team is annoying to watch. I'm cool. Um, I want to see how the Spurs do. They look good last night, even though they're playing against a trash team. I want to see how they do rest of the year, even without Wemby. That's what I want to see because they got some young talent. Chris Paul is still a genius on the court. De'Aaron Fox is De'Aaron Fox.
Mm-hmm.
Stephon Castle, Vassell, Keldon. Like, yeah, let's see what they can do the second half of the year, man. But other than that, we'll talk about more on the other episodes.
Yeah, I got a couple thoughts. Um, the Lakers, you can't fool me. I know who you are. You lost to
We'll
the
we'll
Hornets the
get
other
we'll get
night.
yeah we'll give Lucas some
Mark
time.
Mark Mark Williams revenge game. But they can't fool me though. Jackson Hayes and Alex Len. I can't do it.
They know
Sorry.
they're cooked. They know that was a move for the
Um,
future. They know.
yeah. Um, I think. I mean, it's just been one game post All Star break, and I know who they play and who they beat. But I still think Boston's a team to beat in the East, even though Cleveland has a 6-game lead over Boston right now as we're recording this. I still think Boston has an edge over Cleveland. Cleveland has to beat them in a 7-game. I got to see it to believe it. I like Cleveland's roster and how they've grown this year, but yeah, I think matchup wise, Boston has the edge, and I think there's a mental edge that Boston has over Cleveland. And the Cavs got to get over that hump. Like, I would probably pick them over any other team in the Eastern Conference right now, but outside of Boston, I can't do it. And just for the sake of just kicks and giggles, it's time to shut down Embiid, Paul George, Kyle Lowry, anybody over the age of 30 for the Sixers, sit them down and let these young guys rock out. Let's try to be as trash as possible and get some lottery luck because I'm telling you, Dylan Harper, Cooper Flagg, Ace Bailey, These young guys are nice, and I want one of them. I'm just be honest with you, and I'm ready to trade Embiid this summer. I'm gonna keep saying it until look. They can call me crazy all they want. He looks bad, bro. I watched the game
Oh
the other
yeah,
night. He
he's not
can't
himself.
move.
He can't. It's time to
I
shut
don't
it down.
I
They'll see.
don't
They'll
care
see.
what the I don't care what the box score says when he's a liability on offense, on defense. And
Yeah,
he can't give full effort because his knees are cooked.
yeah.
He's telling you
It's
he
finna.
needs surgery. So what are we doing here? He's going to have surgery in the summertime, and then he's going to miss the start of the season again. Oh, then we got to revamp. We got to ramp him up. We got 10 more days ramp up. He can't like the Sixers are lying and selling false hope to the fans. I'm gonna keep saying it. They're frauds. That front office is frauds. They're liars, and they don't know what they're doing.
Daryl Morey is a liar, like
Daryl
Harden
Morey is
said.
a liar. James Harden, you were right. Josh Harris, the Commanders lost to the Eagles. How about that? Anyway, that's all I got for this show.
Yeah, yeah.
But yeah, thank you guys for watching and listening. Don't forget to subscribe. YouTube, Apple Podcasts, like, share, subscribe. We got more on the way. Thank you guys for watching. And yeah, enjoy these next few days of NBA action. We'll be back next week to see what's going on. Take care.
Peace out.